Hey class, this is another lab, hopefully another short one. In this video, I'm going to go over how to add your game on itch.io, which is a indie game platform where you can create a free account and upload your game, and then use that to share with other people. So that'll make it easy to test the game, to get people to play it and give you feedback. So that's going to be hopefully pretty exciting. So it's pretty straightforward. I'm not going to like open Godot or anything. I already have my builds ready to upload. So if you don't have a build or a recent build from like your most recent version of the game, go ahead and make that first. If you need to review the video on how to export, I'll link to that, but it's also, you can find it in the lab section. So you might want to review that first, but if you've got your build ready, then you should be ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and open up mine. You can see inside my lab 8, which is the most recent one, that's the level design. I have a builds folder and I have my Mac, web, and Windows. And I've already made archives, but I'll go over how to make an archive in case you don't have one. One thing that you are going to want to double check. So your Mac build is just a DMG. That's fine. You don't have to change that. You do have to still zip it to upload it. Your Windows build, remember, is going to be 2 files, the .exe and the .pack or PCK file. Those need to be in the same archive. So just make sure that when you archive the windows that you right click on the windows and then compress that whole folder. That'll give you windows.zip. For the web, you don't have to do a web build. You don't have to do any of these. You just have to do one. So if you want to do Mac, that's good. If you want to do Windows, that's fine. If you want to do web, that's good. The one advantage of the web build is that, people don't have to download anything to play it. So that may like reduce the barrier for playing, especially if somebody's just like on, a school computer or a Chromebook or something like that. It'll be easier for them to just play the game in the browser. And our games are not super complicated, so I don't think playing in the browser is necessarily going to change the gameplay that much. Anyway, one thing that you want to do if you are going to do the web build, you have to make sure, this is important, that you have an index.html file. So when you export your web build, you may have an HTML file that is called something else, like the name of your game. You have to make sure that it's index.html with a lowercase I. If it's anything else, the build is not going to be playable. So I'm just going to go ahead and change this to index.html, lowercase I, that's it. And then I'm going to zip this up. So I'm going to right click on here and just compress web. Should work the same way on Windows for doing the compression. And that's going to make a little zip file. So now I've got my 3 builds ready and I can go to itch and upload them. So I'm going to go over to my browser, open a new tab. I'm just going to go to itch.io. You may not have an account. I already have an account set up. If you don't have an account, like what you see, I'll log out real quick. If you see this, you may need to register for an account. It shouldn't really take too long. If you need help with that, let me know. I already have an account, so I'm going to go ahead and log in. So I'll just use my MCC email. Hopefully that's my right password. It has this like capture thing. See. Okay. Wow. Oops. This is a lot longer than these usually are. We see any other fire hydrants? I think we're good. Okay. Oh, whoa, okay. Oh. Okay, let's see. Wow. Okay, that took a little longer than usual. Anyway, I should be logged in now. Once you're logged in, you'll either see this dashboard or you'll see like this, or maybe you'll see the homepage or whatever. Wherever you are, you just have to create something new. You can see some of the projects I've created in the past. So there's a lot of ways to do this. The easiest way is just to click on this drop down on the right and upload new project. So there's not that many requirements for what you have to do, but there are a lot of options. Like you can change the design, you can add an image, you can add a trailer. We don't probably really have all that stuff, but if you want to, feel free to add that stuff in there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add a title. This should be the title of your game. I didn't really make a title, so I'm just gonna say this is my game, and that'll generate a URL. So that's what we'll use later. You can add a short description if you want. You don't have to. Classification is game. That doesn't matter a whole lot, but it'll make it easier for other people to find it. Then the type of project, if you're just doing a Windows or a Mac build, just say downloadable. If you are adding the web build, then you can do HTML. Release status, let's say in development, right? We're still working on these. For pricing, unless you want to set up payments, you're not going to be able to enable this. So I would just go with no payments. If you really want to, you can go through and set that up, but that's not necessary for this assignment. Now we get to our upload. So if you're doing the web build, but you also want to have the other builds, you have to make sure to say which one is the web build, so it'll build that one correctly. So I'm going to do that first because I'm going to have all three. So I'm going to go ahead and add my web build. It's going to take a second to upload. And then we're going to say this is an executable. And then there's an option here that says this file will play in the browser. So if you don't click that, it's not going to try to play that one. It might try to play a different file that you uploaded. So make sure to click that. Now, if you want to also add the Windows and Mac builds, go ahead and do that. If you just want to add a Windows or a Mac build, that's fine as well. I'm going to go ahead and do all three just so it's very easy for people to play the game. And I need to specify, so this is a Mac build and this is a Windows build. So again, you only have to do one of these, but you can do more than one if you want. And okay, so all that is good. For my game, depending on how you want it to be played, you can kind of set some things. I'm going to stick with embed in page. I don't really have like a full screen game. Some of you guys are doing more full screen stuff. Manually set size is fine. I'm going to change these dimensions to match the game that I created, which is 1024 by 512. That should be fine. I'm going to leave all of this blank. Details, you know, if you want to add stuff in here, this would actually be a good place to add a link to your user testing form. Since we're doing tests, that'll make it easy for people to access. So I'll just say, please test my game and fill out my feedback form. And then I'm going to go back to my user testing form, which I still have over here. And I'll just grab a link for that. So I'll copy that and throw it in there. If you want to put other stuff in there, you could put a link to your website. Whatever you want to put in there is fine. This other stuff we don't have to fill out, but we might as well. So the genre is platformer. Tags, you know, we could say 2D. You could say pixel art if you want to. Maybe Piskel is a tag. It's not. That's okay. I'll add it in there. We could say Godot engine. I'm surprised that's not a tag, but let's put it in there. You know, if somebody's looking for examples of a Godot project, they might find it. This stuff we're gonna ignore. And then, okay, so now we get to the bottom, so we can say save and view page. You have to view the page before you publish it. So you have to actually look at the page and then come back here and publish it. We can also add a cover image or a trailer and some screenshots. I don't know if that's required, but if we want to add a cover image, we could just add like the game title, or if you want to make something special for this, you can do that. If it's a web game, you don't really need this because you won't really see it, but that should be fine. You could, if you really want to make it look good, that's where you could work on that a little bit. Anyway, let's take a look at the page. So we're going to save and view page. And it's going to load up our web game, and hopefully this will work. We can click run game, and hopefully that'll actually run. Oh, okay. You can hear the sound. I'm going to turn that down. Let's see if it works. Oh, it looks like I did not reset my player to the beginning of the level, so that's okay. Oh, and then I died. Let's see if the button works. Okay, that worked. Okay, so this looks like it works pretty well. Let's see what happens when I get to the end. Oh, I guess that sprite is off for some reason. I could debug that. I'm not really sure what the deal with that is. Anyway, let's see what happens if I hit quit. It probably just crashes. Okay, so anyway, that's fine for what we have so far, just for testing. And then if you have like a Mac or a Windows build, I can just like click download right here. It's going to go ahead and download that. On the Mac, it's going to open it right up, and there it is. I can play it. So you can also do just the Mac or the Windows build. If you want to add some other stuff, you can actually edit the page for your game. So if you click Edit Theme here, this is just what you see on this page. So, you know, if you wanted to make like a different background color, you could do that. If you wanted to change the font to pixel font, you can do that. You can make the font larger. There's a bunch of different options. You can change where the screenshots show up. You can add some different images. None of this is really required for the assignment, but if you care about how this looks, you could spend some time doing that. Actually, I don't want the background color to match there. Okay. And so then I'll save that. Okay, so now this won't be publicly available until I publish it. So that's the last step. I'm going to go back to Edit Game, and I'm going to scroll down to the bottom, click on Public so people can see it, and click Save. And now when I go back to view the page, now you have your URL. So it's just whatever your username is, .itch.io, and then / the name of your game. So make sure to save that link. So when you do send the game to people on Discord or email or however you want to send it to people, you can text it to them. Just send them the link to the itch so they can download it and play it, or play it in the browser. And then send them the link to the form, or if you include the link to the form, that's another way to do it, so that they can play the game, give you some feedback, and that's pretty much it. I think that's everything we have to do here. If you run into any issues, itch has been, this has been pretty simple. I've run into bugs with it before, but I think it's like pretty good now. I haven't seen a lot of bugs recently. So anyway, if you do run into any issues, let me know and we can troubleshoot, but hopefully should be pretty straightforward. So I think that's it for this video. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you guys in class.